Hi there, it's Anaïs. I'm going to show you how to send newsletters using ActionNetwork. So for those of you who have access to ActionNetwork, and if you need it for your role, please contact Outreach or Media. You can send newsletters using our database of rebels who signed up and agreed to receive newsletters and relevant emails, depending on their choices. So you can navigate to this address there, and this is how you send emails. You navigate down there and click on email. And there you go, you can send an email. So let's pretend we want to send an email to people living in Zurich to ask them if they could host rebels during the rebellion in Zurich. So you can give here a title, hosting Zurich. This is for our own archives on the ActionNetwork. The topic will be host from, so for instance, if I'm Anaïs from, hosting network, maybe that's the name of my working group. It's nice to make it personal so people know who is writing to them. This is if people reply to your email, that's where the answers will go. So hosting at exrebellion.ch, for instance. Preview text is just a nice to have. It's what people will see when the mail is not opened yet on some clients. I'll leave it blank for now. And then this is the place where you're going to write your email, but you don't have to start from scratch because there are templates that are saved, and there are two different modes of creating emails. So either you can code directly using HTML code, or you can use something a little bit more for like dummies, which is what I use. Which is drag and drop. So you can put building blocks together sort of to build your layout. So you want to choose that before you fill in these fields, unlike me, because this has erased everything. Then you can choose an email layout. So we have 3 layouts for the newsletter in French and in German, and the one in all 4 languages. So far, that's what we have. And click apply. In the meanwhile, I'm going to fill this again because I will need it for later. Okay, and there you have your layout. So basically here in this example, it's for the general newsletter. So you have all the elements that compose it, the catchy title, the month, some image. You can choose whatever you want. You can easily change what email image you want to use. This would be for a link if your content is online, the full content on the website, for instance. So here you would go there, navigate to add a link, and you would add the link to the website for the German version of the newsletter or the French version, the Italian version. There's a lot of checking links involved when you want to write a newsletter that brings people where you want them. So here you can have text. For instance, here we added buttons for calls to action. So here, find your role, and you can add here the URL towards where you want to send people. So if you would write, for instance, propose my couch for hosting, then you would have a URL towards where you can actually sign up to propose your couch. So be really careful to have the right links in the right languages everywhere in this beautiful multilingual setup. And then when you're done, you can send a test email to see if it looks okay. So this could be the media address because it's the one I'm signed up with at the moment, but you can have your own address. And then send test mail, have a look if it looks all right. And if it does, well, then great, you can save and target your email, which is the next, so make sure everything is nicely filled. And then target your email. So here, as a reminder, we want to target people who live in or around Zurich and who kindly gave us this information. There are 2 columns, one which are the characteristics you want to include in your audience, and one for the characteristics you want to exclude from your audience. Here, every field acts as a logical and. So if you say you want someone from a given postal code, the other fields would add some more criteria. So, for instance, someone from Zurich who also gave money before, or who also has a given tag in the database. So it makes your subset smaller. It's not going to be everyone in Zurich and everyone who has this tag together. It's going to be people who are in Zurich and have this tag. So be careful with that so that you can really target everyone you want. I'm right now going to show you just to target depending on the postcode when we have that information. But if you want to make more complex targeting profiles, you can use something called a report, and I'm going to show you how it works in a moment. But so here, if we want to target people who live in Zurich or close to Zurich, you can here have the postcode of Zurich, which I believe it is 8,000, and target activists, which are, say, 25 miles. So that's going to be about 50 kilometers, I think, in the radius around Zurich. If you want to send a newsletter only to the people who we know speak German, you need to go into field values. That's something they've input themselves in a form. And here you want to include activists who filled out the field named language CH and entered value of either EN for English, IT for Italian, FR for French, or DE for German. Anyway, long story short, once you've selected everything you wanted, you can go into, well, wait a second. Yes. If you want to make a more complicated profile selection, you might want to use reports. And here you can choose between all the reports that have been generated before. So if you have yourself created one, you can use the one you've created to send it. Then you'll go to Save, Preview, and Send, where you can review everything. And then if you are happy with that, what it looks like, it's going to tell you how many activists it's currently targeting. So you can also see, be careful when you want to send the newsletter in several languages. I would advise that you make sure things add up. So you target it to all French speakers, all German speakers, all other speakers, or how many categories you can make. And then make sure that it adds up to the whole database and you're not forgetting people or sending twice an email to people. And then once you're happy with that, you can just write send email, which I'm not going to do, not to spam a lot of people with an empty email, and then you're done. Now I'm quickly going to show you how to make a report. You go to reports. Here you have all the latest reports that people have created. If you want to create a new one, you can go and click here. You can name your report so it's easier to find afterwards. And here you'll have the choice of what to include or what to exclude and make more complicated profiles. And that's about it. You're good to go now. Good luck.